What if I told you they were way before their time?
I really cannot name anyone more influential that I've ever met than Alexander and Nicholas Centralton.
No one knows where they came from.
They just showed up one day.
I've heard rumors that they're aliens.
Robots.
There's no way that Nick and Alex got their buys without steroids.
When they walked in the doors freshman year, they didn't even have backpacks, just a football and pads.
That freshman year was a wild one, for sure.
The seniors hated them.
Alex took my spot. Never hated a kid more in my life. That was until Glenbar Day.
We were heading to Glen Ellen, and all of a sudden, our horses were pulling our 75-man roster and died.
Even worse, one of the wheels fell off. It was a disaster. That was until Alex and Nick hopped off the bus.
Those two pulled us 8 miles uphill, and we managed being 20 minutes early.
That's when we knew they were special.
That season, Alex passed for 6,000 yards, and Nick, he rushed for 6,001 yards.
We rode the whole season on their shoulders. A tragedy struck right before the state final.
We all caught polio, every single one of us. Everyone except Alex and Nick, that is.
We had to forfeit the game. What else were we supposed to do? We had 2 freshmen going up against the best team in the state.
But they wouldn't give up. They went out on the field and played free safety in the biggest game of our school's history.
Hinsdale won 56-0.
I'll never forget that game. Alex went around, shook our hands. Next thing we knew, we could all walk again.
Was that not unusual to anybody else?
They were notorious.
Nick Centralton?
Yeah, I know him.
We were playing Hinsdale that day. I was playing one of my best games ever, and I lit up 35 completions.
I was playing safety while Nick got the handoff to the right.
Usually I'd just run away from him when he was running at me because he's so lean and muscular. It's
Chill.
I made a hard jab step to the left, and then all of a sudden,
Nick did one of the dirtiest juke moves I've ever seen and snapped both of my ankles right in half.
Then he trucked right through me.
Both of their football careers ended that day.
It was the grossest thing I had ever seen. Sitting in the crowd that day, I thought how I just wanted to watch that until my eyes hurt. Then I thought up a new invention, the video camera.
This season was the first instance of legal trouble being caused by the brothers.
This little company called PETA was furious.
They didn't think the team named the Lions should be associated with such a harmful and vicious team.
Alex and Nick were insane. They would literally go on the field and rip people's clavicles out of their body. That's where we got the Devils from.
The Lyons Township Ballerinas decided to take the name Lions after we got rid of it.
To pay tribute to the brothers that have humiliated them for all those years.
It turns out that the name change was a huge success.
That season, the Hinsdale Devils' football ticket sales single-handedly brought the United States out of the Great Depression.
It was at that time the world fell into chaos. The Third Reich began its fascist onslaught through Western Europe. Nick and Alex Centralton had to do something about it.
I came home one day to a note left behind on the kitchen counter. It said, "Mom, we have left to go beat the Germans. We'll be back home for dinner." Alex and Nick kept their promise, and that same day they were home by curfew. When we turned on the news, it was true. The war was over.
All they had taken to the war were 2 footballs.
Poor coach Brian Griffinson went blind and deaf from the war. It made the whole season very difficult.
The brothers had pulled through yet again, winning the state title for another time.
What was even more remarkable was that Coach Griffinson won Coach of the Year, as no one could tell he was blind.
After the season, though, they saw the damage their country went through. They wanted to give back.
Alex and Nick Centralton decided to go to an orphanage and donate their limbs.
They knew it would end their football careers, but they did it for the children. Alex lost both arms and Nick lost both legs.
The procedure took 3 weeks to even make a scratch in their iron-like skin.
Don't even get me started on how hard it is to cut through Nick's sweet, firm.
The children that received the donated limbs happened to be Joe Montana and Walter Payton.
Alex and Nick both went on to set all-time NFL receiving and rushing records that both stand today.
In their spare time during retirement, the Centraltons turned to a more industrial field.
They came up with the revolutionary idea of the iPhone. However, a janitor from LT named Steve Jobs stole it and millions off Centralton's idea.
The Hinsdale Devils knew they were forever indebted to Alex and Nick Centralton. They tried paying the two legends, but they refused to accept any gifts. The school decided all they could do to honor them was change their name. They are now named the Hinsdale Central Red Devils in honor of Alex and Nick Centralton and the color they left the field after that one famous game against LT.